Good morning and welcome to week 4 of home instruction. So this is your introductory video for the week. Um, so when you guys go into your classwork for the week, again, you have your important links and topics up here. But by, I would say Friday evening is when I usually post everything. But if it is Monday while you're watching this, everything from week 4 will be uploaded. All right. Right now you see it as um, gray, and that's only because I have not posted it. You'll see that I have it posting later tonight. This one is bold because I have actually already posted that. So anyways, this is generally what your screen is going to look like as of Monday or Friday night when you go to look at this video, okay? Um, as usual, it is very, very, very important that you look at the lesson plan. All right. Everything you need for the week starts here. Okay. So it's the same exact setup as all of the other weeks that we've been doing. Um, so it gives you a general idea of what you are going to be doing for flipped for your novel study. You can see that you have things due on Thursday and on Friday. Thursday is the reading. You definitely need to have chapters 5 and 6 read by Thursday, ideally beforehand, but by Thursday is when you need to have that done. And then the reason why I have that due on Thursday is because you cannot complete the next activity that's due on Friday without having that done. Again, I reference that right here. All right. When you scroll down to Achieve 3000, a lot of people have been emailing me, what article do I have to do? The article is always listed right here, okay? So for week 4, it's a plan to plant a trillion trees. If you can, when you log into Achieve 3000, if you don't see it pop up right away, that's not a big deal. Just go in the search bar and type it in, it'll be in there, okay? A few things. If you do not like your score and on your first score, of course, you can do the stretch activity if it is in there, and depending on how you do on that, I might be willing to float you a couple points. One of the things I am doing is I will actually drop your lowest score for April. If you do an additional Achieve 3000 where you score higher. Obviously, if you do an additional Achieve 3000, you score lower, I'm not going to take an even lower score and put that in. The purpose of this is saying, hey, maybe there's an article in there that you didn't do so hot in. Maybe you did get lower than that 88% on one of them, and you're like, wow, I kind of bombed that. Okay, well, here's an opportunity. You can go in, you can do 10 of them. I don't care how many you do, but I'm only going to drop one of your scores. So if you do an additional achieve and you get an even worse score, that's okay. Go in and do a different one. And if you get 100% on that, I'm happy to drop your lowest score for that 100%. If you don't remember your username and password, y'all, please do me a favor and look here first before you ask me to look it up. I have probably spent a good, I don't know, maybe 5 hours just this week looking up people's usernames and passwords. Please be independent and look those things up yourself first. I have so many usernames and passwords that I actually created a spreadsheet for myself just for school. And I keep all my usernames and passwords there. I get that it's difficult to remember everything, so do yourself a favor and write it down somewhere. You will see that there is MobyMax this week. Last week we only had a 4-day work week, and the week before we only had 4 days, so that's why you did not have MobyMax. So MobyMax is back. You will see that I'm asking you to do 15 minutes of language and 15 minutes of vocabulary for a total of 30 minutes. This is due on Wednesday. Again, here's a school code, everything that you need to be successful on that. A few words of advice, guys. If you are sitting on the home screen for 15 minutes, I see that. The computer literally tells me exactly what you're doing, when you're doing it, and the timer will actually stop if you're stagnant. Now, they're not counting the time it takes to read something, but if you're sitting under language for 15 minutes on one question, it's only going to give you 1 minute time. So I've had a lot of kids be really frustrated a couple weeks ago when they were doing MobyMax. They're like, well, I was on for the 30 minutes. I know you were on for the 30 minutes. You were sitting there stagnant on the home screen for 25 of those 30 minutes. So I can literally see everything you do. So just keep that in mind. Set yourself a timer. Maybe even try to go 20 minutes, 20 minutes, so that if it does call you stagnant, you're still being okay. And then, of course, our Google Meet session is on Tuesday. I'm trying to keep it consistent, Tuesday from 1 to 3. It is a required session, and you do have that alternative if you can't actually attend. Just to recap, again, I've had a couple kids ask me, well, how can I go to the Google session on 5 and 6 when we don't even have that due until Thursday? No, no, no. The Google session is always on the chapters that were due the week ahead of time. So this conversation right here is only going to be about last week's work, chapters 3 and 4. All right. So this lesson plan is very, very, very important for you guys to take a look at. All right. So now that you have the nitty gritty of everything, you will see that I have the link for Achieve 3000 in here for you. You will see that I have the link for Moby Max in there for you. I don't have the link for the virtual session put in there yet. Again, I don't post that until right before the session starts, but that will be located right here. And then the only other thing that I actually have you guys turning in besides Achieve 3000 and Moby Max next week is an activity for Flip. All right, this is the activity that's due on Friday. I have the directions in here and I have it linked. I'm going to show you an example of what it looks like, but yours is going to look slightly different because mine is the teacher copy. Okay, so you will see under internal and external conflict, I need your name, I need your class period, all the usual. All right, it said to above, it actually said to watch the video. All right, so the video is located right here. All right here, you can watch that. I've double checked to make sure that we can watch that. It might take a few minutes to load, but it's just a little video reviewing external and internal conflict. Please watch that. Then you'll see that there's a couple of questions, or there's a question that you have to answer for that. So it's really just the teaching part of it, okay? Section 2 will be on another screen for you, but it's just on my screen because, again, this is the teacher version. You will see that there are a couple examples of where you're going to apply what you learned from Section 1 on internal and external conflict. Read it carefully and really ask yourself, is this internal conflict? Is this external conflict? If you chance of getting that right, if it's internal, it is happening inside one's mind. If it's external, it's conflict with an outside source. So, and you'll learn that a little bit more. It should just be a review for you because we have talked about these in class, and I know you guys talked about this in elementary school as well. All right, so then section 3, this is where you are applying it to flipped. All right, you will be answering some extended response questions below, complete sentences, spelling, grammar, mechanics, everything. This is graded by me, not a computer, so keep that in mind, all right? I even give you a little advice on what you can do here. If you need to write like this with the R, A, the C, the E, the S separated, that is totally fine. Ideally, what you would do is after you do this, you would take off the R, A, C, E, and S and just combine it into one paragraph, an indent, because that is exactly how you would set this up. But I give you an example using a story that we used in class in the beginning of the year. Okay, so you see that R and A are combined because that creates a very good topic sentence where you restate the prompt and you answer it. C is the textual evidence. You will see that I introduce it and I give credit at the end, an explanation, and a summary where you have a closing sentence connecting back up to the original topic. Okay, just to recap, a lot of kids are probably going to say, oh, wait a minute, it didn't give me a grade. Or if it does give me a grade, it looks like I got a bad score. No, remember, 10 of those points are going to have to be manually input by me. A computer cannot grade your extended response, all right? I am grading your extended response. So don't panic if when you go to turn this in, it either A, doesn't show you a score, or B, shows you what looks like a bad score, but it's not going to be a bad score because 10 more points are coming from this section right here that has to be manually graded by me. I did input the answers for these because a computer can grade it because I told the computer, but because everybody's going to have different responses down here, you're going to want to, make sure that you are being aware that it's not going to give you the score. Okay, I will manually input those and then put that in Infinite Canvas. Speaking of this assignment, because you are expected to use textual evidence, you will want to go have this open, go back over to your online classroom and open up the PDF file of the novel. Okay, you are not going to write either of those extended responses from memory. All right, you can absolutely go down and open up chapters 5 and 6 and 1. It's going to take a little bit for that to be loaded. All right. The easiest way to do it is not to do it this way where you're going back and forth. Okay. That gets a little crazy. So here is what I recommend you do. Okay. I recommend you pull, let's see if I can do this while you guys are on here. Pull this forward, make it its own screen. All right. From there, you shorten it and you drag it over to the right-hand side. Okay. There's a reason for that. Okay. Then you're going to do the same over here. You're going to click on this. Okay. I have the flip novel open. Of course, I'm not going to be using the first chapter. I'll be using chapter 5 and 6. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make it small and then take the screen and move it over to the left. Computer should, it's not catching it yet. Let me try that again. It should, I'm gonna make it completely separate here. Let's make that small one more time. It should move over to the left. And there we go. It opens back up. We're going to go ahead and cross out of that because we don't need that. And do you see how now I have the flipped assignment and I'm able to type my answers over here? Okay, it's just going to make it a lot easier for you. Okay, I'm going to do another tutorial on this and I'll put this under links and the important links and topics. But I would recommend anytime you are asked to do an assignment where you have two different um, formats to look at, make it to where it's just a little bit easier for you. Okay, so that's the general idea of what you're doing for the week. I hope that this all makes sense and that you guys can see exactly what you need to do. We are having some open office hours now. That is all located under your Google Classroom. So if I open this, give me a second here, guys. I open back up to the Google Classroom and I go and look under here, we have some open call hours. Let me explain what these are before we get off here for the day, okay? The open call hours are going to be where we can kind of have face-to-face discussions where you guys can ask questions. My email is blowing up and it's just getting a little bit too complicated for me to sift through all those emails in a day. And since I'm already sitting here on my computer for 14 plus hours a day, we're going to have some open hours. So most of them are going to be around 10 to 11. That's when it's a little bit more calm in my house because my kids are normally logged on working during that time. So I'm not sure if these hours are going to stay the same every week. It just kind of depends on what meetings I have to go to. But on Monday, 10 to 11, Tuesday, 10 to 11, and then of course, right after our Google session. And then for all of you late sleepers out there, I have open hours from 1 to 2. What's going to happen is under material, I will eventually have a link for a Google Meet. You just click that meet and be ready with your question, and I will be happy to help you if you need help with something, having help clarifying something for you. Just let me know. This is the time to do it. This is not something that you have to attend, but if you have any type of question for me, then yeah, you're going to want to attend some of these. Now, please keep in mind, do you want to wait until Thursday to ask me a question for something that's due on Monday? Probably not. Um, you're definitely going to want to try to get a hold of me earlier. Come to the Monday one, come to the Tuesday one. All right, if you have to come to the Thursday one, that's fine. But of course, if you're not awake by then, you can always come to the Google session that we have planned, and I'll stay after a little bit like I always do. Okay, so we're going to try that, see how it goes. If it goes well and people actually log on and ask me some questions, we'll keep it. Maybe I'll change up the dates depending on the feedback I get. Okay, I won't change the dates this week, but I mean for week 5 when we start planning for that. All right. I hope you guys have a great week and that you guys are successful on everything. And I look forward to hearing from some of you guys at these open call hours. Take care.